me double Jellyfish, it's Tracy.
And Paul.
And we're in a different location because we're in Paul's place. And I think you can see the pirate flag.
Oh, I'm sure they can see it.
So that's a great thing. We're going to have that in the backdrop when we move in together.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we went to the Ixalan pre-release. We went 2-1. First round, we felt really bad because our opponents didn't know that they could use each other's cards. Yeah. But they actually did really well the rest of the time because we helped them out with their decks, which was actually really cool. And we were like, hey, I was like, you should try this card and this card and whatever. And their decks came out better. They went 1-2, I think they told us after that.
They won the next game,
was
and
really
then the
close.
last game came basically down to turns.
Yeah, and I was like really happy for them, so that was really cool. But anyways, so then our second round, we played against these kids who, guys, like, you know a lot of people like totally brush off kids. They're like, they don't know how to play Magic, whatever. Our opponents were actually really...
Oh, yeah.
Really smart, and they had the one card that I forget the name of, but it's the 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent's life, each player's life...
Every player loses
a third of his life.
And so we had to get a rules check on that, because we didn't know if it was each person loses a third of life, so I would lose a third, which would take the total down there, then Tracy would lose a third from that. It's no. You take the third of your turn life total, and then you lose that twice. So we went from 29 life down to 9.
Guys, it was the most...
from 26 to 8?
20 to 8, I think it was, or something like that. Guys, it was the most intense game of Magic. I'm not even kidding. Like, they were against these kids, but they were really good at Magic. So... yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun game. And the last game, I drew a bucket tons of land, and not enough removal, and we were playing against Merfolk, and they had unblockable and flying.
Yeah,
and
the unblockable flying is just... I had the other guy was... So they were playing Merfolk and dinosaurs, basically, and I had the dinosaurs held, but I couldn't stop all the flyers.
Yeah, I didn't draw enough removal. I drew a lot of removal, but not enough removal, basically, is what happened.
They had too much unblockables, really, what it came down to.
But yeah, we had a really good time. We went to, like I said, we opened up some packs, which was really fun. My promo was the Merfolk guy. That was, like, the 3-mana thing where... opponents can't target unless they pay 2 extra mana, which I thought I was going to go Merfolk. I just didn't draw enough, so I went Vampires, Black, White Vampires, and Paul went Pirates, Tricolor Pirates, which was super cool. So let's get into it. Let me first make sure we're recording. I have like a fear. Okay. Alright, cool, let's get into it. Paul, we're going to start with Paul's deck. He did Pirates. So the first card
was my promo, which is...
you don't need to show it. I'll make the cards here. I actually need to see this because I don't know what this card is.
Deadeye Tracker. Okay. I don't actually know.
Oh, yeah. You didn't draw this card. This was the promo.
It was my promo. I never once drew it, which is annoying because it's a 1-drop, 1/1, and it's 1/1 black tap. Exile 2 target cards from an opponent's graveyard, and you would get to explore. That Explore mechanic was actually really great. I got to use it to some veg, quite a lot of fun.
Actually, I thought the Explore mechanic was going to be bad. I totally retract that statement. Seeing it in play was definitely different than seeing it in cards. I think it's a really great mechanic. I'm not in love with it, like, over the moon. It's amazing, but it is very strong. I like the option of getting to put it in your graveyard if you don't like the cards, and there's some graveyard recursion too, which is really sweet.
It's kind of like a different scry.
Yeah, it kind of is. Because
you do always, if it's a land, it comes to your hand. You don't have to bottom it or worry about that. And then if it's a card you don't want, just throw it to the graveyard. Or if it's a card you can recurse from the graveyard cheaper than casting, you got that option.
Agreed. And treasure tokens too, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So yeah, this card was pretty good. I mean, like I said, we didn't really get the chance to see it. Next card.
Siren Stormancer, flying 1, and then pay 1 and sacrifice, get a counter spell that targets that creature.
I think you drew it once.
I drew it once. The ability was never relevant. We killed them with the flyers that game. That was the first round.
Which is why I think a card like this is really sweet, because it's just a 1-mana, 1/1 flyer.
And in limited, the evasion is key.
Which is amazing. So, yeah,
next, good. Dual Shot, free print. It's a great card.
It's great. That's all we're going to say.
Next, March to the Drowned. This was great for my deck because I was all my creatures were pirates, and so it's choose one, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or return 2 target pirate cards from your graveyard to your hand. I only actually played this once, and the time I did it was great because with one of my other cards, I had to discard, or the opponents discarded 2 cards randomly from my hand. They picked the same pirate twice because I have 2 copies of my deck, and I immediately got them back and then played them the next turn.
It's definitely a filler card. I'm not in love with it, but I think if you have an extra slot just chilling, it's definitely not a bad card.
Or if you do a lot of discard mechanics or something like that, it's great to get cards back out of your graveyard.
Agreed.
Next is Rigging Runner, which is the Goblin Pirate First Strike Raid. It's a 1/1 that can come in later as a 2/2 with First Strike, which is not bad at all.
Yeah, card is pretty good.
Then I ran 2 copies of Opt. Scry then Draw, that's great. This is going in my modern Death Shadow deck, replacing the Gataxian
cards. Amazing cards. Lit. Love it.
Next, I have Dire Fleet Hoarder. When it dies, create a treasure, which is
pretty
great.
basic, straightforward.
2-drop, 2/1.
Pretty okay.
Next, I have the Willy Goblin. That's just when it enters, make a treasure.
Pretty basic. Card's pretty okay.
This
card is really good.
Siren's Ruse. Exile target creature you control, and then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control, so just flicker. But if it's a pirate that's exiled this way, you draw a card. I targeted both opponent's cards and my own cards, and I drew cards almost every single time off of it. It was fantastic.
Card's great. Really gets you out of removal in a tight pinch. Remember, someone targeted your spell, you exiled it. It was great.
Also, that'll re-trigger ETB effects, re-trigger raid effects, re-trigger explore.
Yes. All of those things. Card worked amazing in this deck. Loved it.
Shipwreck Looter, I ran 2 of those. I don't think I ever draw this.
No, you didn't draw that card.
Or if I did, I drew it without the raid trigger, so it didn't really matter. It's just a 2/1. But it's raid when it enters.
If you attack,
draw a
discard.
And if you
pretty
do discard,
good mechanic. I like it.
These 2 cards were champs. Siren's Lookout, flying 2/1 for 3. When it enters Explorer, this was great because I got to play them in the same turn. So they explored the first time it was a creature. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to leave that on top and explore again to get another +1/+1 counter, and then I can choose what I want to do with it, whether I want to do graveyard or that or not. So
cards were really like
that explore mechanic, seeing what the opponent can do, what you have on top was absolutely great. So the having 2/3 flyers for 3 and
we had quite a bit of flying in our deck on both of our sides, so it was really strong and had really good evasion for us. So definitely.
Next up is Deadeye Tormentor, 3-drop. When it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card.
Oh, you have 2 of those?
Yes.
Okay.
I ran 2 of those.
Yes. Your synergy was just on fleek.
I mean, every card was pirate or worked with pirates, basically. It was great. 4-drop, I have the Brazen Buccaneers.
This card's great.
Haste Explorers.
Card's great.
Absolutely fantastic.
Love that
2/2,
card.
potentially a 3/3.
With haste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Nice red body.
I wish I had a second copy of this. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, 4-drop. When it enters, destroy target creature and opponent controls that was still damaged this turn.
We wrecked someone with this card.
Second main phase is just this comes down. Swing, then play. Absolutely.
We killed someone with that. Like they flashed in. I don't remember what it was, but it was that dragon, that green-blue dragon, and they flashed it in the enrage mechanic. Yeah. And they played that, and then we were like, oh, great, that's fine. They flashed it in or whatever. You block with your creature. It was dealt damage, and then we played that and killed the creature. Great card.
That, for 4 mana, it was a great move.
Oh, this card's really fantastic.
Direfleet Interloper, Menace, and Explorer.
Very basic, but really great. I love that Menace. This card's awesome.
Ruddy Crew. This was a mythic I pulled. It's great. Trample, and when it enters, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards at random. I had the opponent pick cards out of my hand. I drew 3 pirates with this. They picked 2 pirates, and it was great.
It was really sweet.
And I got to recast them, so the synergy there. So I ended up with a 5/5 trample for 4.
Card's really good. Just the card advantage, too, is really fantastic.
Next, Unfriendly Fire. Deal 4 damage to target creature or player for 5. I mean, not the best.
Yeah, but won us the game. Honestly, like, they had 4 life, and then Paul cast it and then killed our opponents.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. This card's amazing.
This card was, especially with this deck with all the treasures, Deadeye Plunders. Gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, making all these treasures, and then it has the ability to pay 4, 2, 1 blue and 1 black, create a treasure. I think at one point mine was a 7/7.
Or a 6/6, something like that. It was great. Yeah, card's really good.
And then finally, this card went especially well with Deadeye, is Prosperous Pirates. When it enters, create 2 colorless treasure tokens, and it's a 3/4 body too. So
it's a great body. This card's really strong.
So you play 1 back-to-back, you suddenly have a 5/5 and a 3/4 on the field. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely good. Paul was really happy with his deck. I think you, kind of lacked a little bit of punch, where I think, I kind of had the late game, where you kind of had the earlier game.
I did have an earlier game, and my punch more came from the synergy of the pirates, and that they could kind of more overwhelm just because I had so many of them, and then they had the buffs that would buff each other and stuff like that, and I had a little bit more evasion than most of the decks seemed to have
we
played against.
Yeah, so like I said, I played vampires. I had just so many cards that lend itself to having this strategy, so I just went with it, even though, like I said, I wanted to do Merfolks originally out of my promo. First card I ran is 2 Slash of Talons. Card was just a house. I really just shut someone down with this card. It was really great, and especially really tight games where your opponent swings in, thinks you don't have enough blockers, and you just straight up kill. There's a lot of like really good 2/2s or 3/2s in the set where you can just kill this. Or if you need that extra points of damage to kill something, it's a 2-mana kill. It's a 1-mana kill spell for instant speed.
Yeah.
Card is great. Then we have Blood Crazed Paladin. Card didn't work as well as I thought that it wanted to, just because it was good for the flash aspect, which again is interesting in black.
I mean, you did get that up to a 5/5.
Yeah, I got it to like a 4/4, and then my opponent stole it, which was really sad. Yeah, I definitely think this card has a lot of potential. And I thought that it would work better in Two-Headed Giant because you have more creatures, if that makes sense.
I think it just, the amount of matchups ended up being so deadlocked that we didn't. Yeah. You needed to save the mana for other things, and that wasn't ever powerful enough.
Exactly, like I said.
Because you couldn't play it in combat. Like, it couldn't be a combat trick.
Exactly.
It had to be a second main phase kind of
Exactly.
deal.
So, given it did help us out at one point, but I don't think this card is great. I think if in the right deck it's fine, but it didn't really help in mine. And I had quite a bit of removal, too. Then we have Bishop's Soldier. This was kind of a filler card for me. It's definitely not my first pick or anything like that, but it was a really nice body. The lifelink definitely helped us out a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 2/2 lifelink.
Very basic card, but it ended up working out. So, pretty happy with that. Inspiring Cleric. I think this card's crazy amazing for an uncommon. It's so much power. The 4 life is really crucial.
That saved us a game, too.
Amazing.
Yeah, that lifelink and that card came real handy when we lost a third of our life twice.
Yeah, definitely.
We lost 20 life. That hurt.
Definitely helped us out. Then we have Legion's Judgment. Really solid removal card. There's some super threatening. I actually killed that third card, the creature that cuts your life into thirds.
Yes, with this.
I killed it with this card because I was like, nah, and really good for those big dinosaurs.
That was what, Flying Menace too?
It's Menace First Strike, I think? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, I ran 3 Sky March Bloodletters. Really, really solid common.
We did also misread them slightly. We thought it was each opponent, not target opponent, so we thought, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
It's 4 life for each, or 2 life for each.
2 life for each, but given it is still a really solid card, it's a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which I think is already sweet in my book, and then ETBs, they lose life, you gain life. Card's great. I didn't really happen to run 3, it just kind of worked out that way, but card is really sweet. Okay, this was a card I never drew. I'm so sad about it. Conqueror's Galleon. I talked about this being the only crew card that I liked in this set. It attacks, you exile it, it's got crew of 4, and then this land just does a million things. It adds colorless. For 2, you draw a card, then discard. 4, you draw a card, and then 6, you return to a creature from a graveyard to the hand. I think this card's incredible. I just didn't get a chance to play with it.
Yeah, I think that it's actually better for the land, or a really good one-time block, but for the 10 toughness, it's huge.
Really good. Okay, then we have, I definitely had 2 of this card, yeah. I had 2 Ixalan's Binding. Card was dumb. Cards was dumb. I mean, it's blew so many people out.
Basically, but not quite as good.
But it's better. No, it's better because it's your opponents can't cast spells with the same name.
That's true.
Like,
I forgot about that.
It's so good for really aggressive decks who are running multiple copies of the same card.
I don't think that ever came in.
I don't know if that ever was relevant, that last part, but it can be relevant.
Yes.
Very relevant depending on your matchup.
Because limited, I don't think you have as many duplicates, so I don't think it made as big of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but if you're targeting an uncommon or a common or something that's really solid, you know, whatever. Mythics and rares, you know, they're probably not going to be... I mean, listen, if you're lucky, you can get 2 mythics and rares, but card was a house otherwise. Paladin of the Bloodstained, I never actually drew this card, but I do think it's really solid. You get 4 mana for 4 power, and you get a vampire with lifelink. Yeah. Card's good.
I feel like you only drew like half of your deck in all of our games.
Straight up! Like, I felt like I didn't get the chance to play with like half of my cards, which is interesting. I didn't also draw Call to the Feast, but I think this card's a house. This actually led me in Vampires, because like,
I mean, this reminds me of your old Black-White Tokens deck, and I'm like...
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to be talking about this card when I do my video talking about Ixalan cards in Modern. I'm going to be talking about this card. Okay, then we have Bishop of the Bloodstained. Oh my. Oh my. Goodness knows, I really didn't often get that many vampires because I just didn't get to that stage of the game.
The most you had was 3?
2 or 3. Yeah. But listen, that's really crucial. I mean, them losing like 3 life off a card and then you're off with a 3/3.
Yeah. Card's
pretty solid. And especially with Call to the Feast, that synergy.
Oh yeah. You did have vampires more often. You would trade your vampires in better trades more often than not.
Exactly, yeah. Then we have Contract Killing. It's a decent removal card. I like that it destroys any creature. It's sorcery speed, which sucks, but you also get treasure tokens.
2 of them, too, which is really helpful. So it basically makes it a 3-drop color removal
pretty much.
Spell.
Yeah, that's actually, when you look at it that way, it's not bad. Bishop of Rebirth. Never got a chance to draw this card. Would have loved to draw this card because it's solid. I actually have to give this back to you because this is not my card.
Oh.
Actually, do I want this card? I may want this card in
You
Ladies.
can have it.
No, it's fine. It's probably like $50.
It's probably not.
But anyway, this card's really good. Solid, solid lady. Okay, then we have, oh, I have another Bishop of the Bloodstained that I forgot to talk about. Sorry, guys. There was another one in there. I ran 2 of that. Then we have Dark Nourishment. Card was really good. I blew some people out with this card with the gain life. I had quite a bit of life gain in this deck, which was really sweet.
Oh, it was absolutely essential for us.
Definitely.
Winning.
This was a card that shocked me, Anointed Deacon. I didn't think to like this card at all, like I didn't even mention it, but it's a really solid common. I remember I gave this to one of my flying dudes, and I had like a 4/3 flying.
Oh yeah.
Which was great. Yeah,
and
card.
it's each turn too, it's not just a one-time thing, so it was really, really useful.
Definitely very helpful. That's how we killed our last opponents, our second round opponents with it. Queen's Agent, another card that I just tossed in there, so I wanted to have my curve a little higher.
I don't even think you played this one.
I didn't draw it. I didn't draw it.
Would have been nice. 3/3 lifelink.
Would have been nice, and then it explores. It's kind of a lot of mana for what it is, but it's kind of a nice body, so... and the last card, which I also didn't draw, was Deathless Ancient, which was a big dude with flying. I just threw this in there because it's a big body.
Yeah, what's the ability on that one, too?
You tap 3 untap vampires to return it from your graveyard to your hand. It's not amazing, but, you know, it's good if you do that, like, when they just come in.
Yeah.
So then you can just do that, so... Yeah, guys, that was it. That was it for the Ixalan 2-headed giant pre-release decks. And then for mana fixing, I didn't mention it, but we each had some unknown shores.
I had 2 of those. I ran a total of 16 lands for mine.
I ran 18, which is kind of a lot, but honestly, I
curve.
Needed it because I had a higher curve.
And I probably could have dropped 1 land.
And that sounds surprising because I never recommend anyone to ever go 15, but Paul had so many charger tokens ever. It was a crazy.
And I got flooded every single game with mana at one point or another. I don't know if that was just bad shuffling or whatnot either. But...
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been, but yeah. That was it. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.